Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man, issue number 301. And you may notice on the top, it's called Amazing Fantasy Part 1. This storyline is Amazing Fantasy. Why? Because we start off with Peter Parker going in the past to see old version Peter Parker Spider-Man. So that's great. Like that first page, I'm thinking, this isn't such great art. Then I realize it's just a rendition of Ditko's old art from way back in the day. You know, when there was just the 4-color print. Oh man, this is so good. So Peter has to realize that, young Peter has to realize now that old Peter and someone who may or may not be his sister and J. Jonah Jameson, they're now friends. and they're back from the future. And mind you, something very interesting was said. They can't fix anything here. They can't fix it. They can't fix their future here because Dr. Doom sent them to an alternate timeline past. So anything that they do here isn't going to affect the future, which means they're clearly only here for some kind of an information bit that will help them in their own timeline in the future. So, okay, that's interesting. On top of that, the idea that they can't actually affect their future with what happens here, it's like that means that here is all of a sudden a free-for-all. So what is the divergence that causes this universe to be all sorts of messed up? It's technically Peter Parker, Teresa, and J. Jonah Jameson coming into the past. Wow. Wow. So these knuckleheads, they go and they start capturing and beating up all the bad guys. First off, they start off with... what's his face? Dr. Octopus, who they both proceed to punch in the head. Now, do we not remember, did no editor remind Mr. Zardowski that, hey, guess what? It's all the concussions from the punches in the head that Spider-Man gave to him that caused him to wind up going, not losing his mind, but eventually his body started to create all these concussions that he had. So that's what caused him to go super bad in the first place. So that's kind of wicked, man. It's kind of wicked. Regardless, they go and they capture Green Goblin and then reveal, it's like, by the way, he's industrialist Norman Osborn. It's like, but the guys are like, the police are like, yeah, if I dress up as Dracula, that doesn't mean that I'm going to go to jail. So who cares if he's dressing up in a goblin costume? Let's let him free. So this, and then he drinks the goblin serum, goes immediately crazy, and then just, it's nuts. It's nuts. So this is going to be bad. This past is really messed up. But something that's very interesting is that Teresa goes and makes contact with Nick Fury from way in the past. And she's got to try and convince him that she is who she says she is from the future. So one of the ways she does it is she says, I may or may not be the child of, what do you call it, Peter Parker's parents. So, wow, that's interesting. And the next issue is called Revelations. So are we going to find out if she actually is the child, the offspring of the Parkers? This is interesting, man. This is good. I'm giving this comic book an A. It deserves nothing less. And I only said what two of the people are doing, right? So what's J. Jonah Jameson doing? J. Jonah goes and meets up with J. Jonah. And it's insane. Their interactions with each other is crazy. And Jonah drops a bomb on that version of drops several bombs. Like it's just carpet bombing, scorched earth. Completely changes everything about his outlook. And the question is, what's it going to actually do for him? Is he going to wind up saving the day in the past now? Will he still, or did he already create the Scorpion and the Rhino? Oh my God, there's so many things he's done that's so bad, man. He's definitely been the ultimate villain for Spider-Man. Anyway, fantastic comic book. Can't recommend it enough. Guys, Professor Bell, Comic Book University, having had read what is probably the definitive Spider-Man in the Marvel Universe right now, class dismissed.